Game 3 of this four-game set between the Rockies and Miami Marlins tonight from lower downtown Denver on another pretty evening. The Rockies trying to right the ship. They've lost 2 straight to the Marlins. This is Game 6 of a 10-game homestand for Colorado. And we welcome you upstairs with George Frazier. I'm Drew Goodman. Glad, of course, that you are along with us tonight. The Rockies looking to break out the bats, and maybe they'll follow the lead of DJ LeMahieu, of all people. DJ really swinging the bat well.
Well, 8 of 17 since the break. That's pretty good, by the way. And a lot of hits to the right side of the infield. And you look at his average, jumped all the way to 283 now. That's just part of it. He stole bases. He's been able to do a lot of different things. But with the bat so far, he's living on the right side of this infield. Then when he's been able to get the ball to the middle side of the field, it's obviously done nothing but productive at bats for DJ LeMahieu right now. And it hasn't been just the swinging of his bat and the ability to run bases. A lot of it has been on the defensive side of things that he's been able to save. You got a 6'4" short second baseman that can get up in the air a little bit. And what I like about what he's been able to do, the positioning defensively, and the other side of that is his reaction when the ball's hit. A lot of second basemen and a lot of guys in baseball, they see a ball hit and there will be a little hesitation and move. You don't see the hesitation. That's why he's getting to a lot of these baseballs.
You know, we get to watch him every day. We did a year ago. He's impressive when you watch him every day. He's a baseball player. He grows on you, and you realize just how valuable he is, as George described, on both sides of the baseball. When we come back, we'll talk pitching. Jorge De La Rosa will be on the mound tonight for the Rockies. That is generally a very good thing. Are 37 and 61. It was overcast earlier this afternoon. The clouds have moved on out. We have a special evening again for baseball. Back upstairs with George Frazier, I'm Drew Goodman. Jorge De La Rosa will take the mound tonight for the Rockies. He's 5-1 on the home court this year. And you don't even mention the Tommy John surgery anymore, do you?
No, there's no reason to. Not the way he's pitching right now. 9-5, going for the 10th win tonight. And Jacob Turner, a young right-hander that's going to pitch for Miami. I say young, 23 years old, 22, and this is a young man finally coming into his own. He got pushed up to the big leagues, didn't happen, went back, regrouped, and came back, and he's pitched very well. 3-2, 244. But De La Rosa, his last start against the Chicago Cubs, and it's going to look an awful lot like a slider, folks. That's a split finger, and it's all about finger pressure, how he puts it on the baseball, but a lot of swing and misses, plus the ability to keep the ball on the ground for De La Rosa. You can almost lock down 6 to 7 innings every time he walks out to the mound now. 1 run in 6 innings there on 5 hits. And he's going to get the strikeouts when he needs it. And I think the confidence that he's showing now in his own ability to get anybody out in the game is really showing out on the mound right now.
Well, the issue has not been starting pitching. The Rockies are on a roll with their starters. They look to continue that trend tonight with Jorge De La Rosa and look to get the bats going. It's the Rockies and the Marlins. Come on back to Coors Field with you. Neighborhood Toyota stores. Toyota, let's go places. By King Soopers, more value for the way you live. And by Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. Rockies fell last night 4-2 to Miami. They lost 3-1 on Monday. So a pair of low-scoring affairs, which is unusual in July in this ballpark. Jorge De La Rosa looks to keep it low scoring on Miami's side tonight as he takes the mound here at Coors Field. Let's take a look at the Marlins lineup. They'll have their hottest hitter leading things off, Adeiny Echeverria. He's batting .417 since July 1st, which is the second best mark in baseball. He'll be followed by the kid who had a heck of a debut last night, Christian Yelich, 3 for 4, 3 straight hits to begin the evening. In fact, Giancarlo Stanton hit a home run last night. He'll bat third. Ed Lucas will bat fourth for the first time in his career. Placido Polanco next. Jake Marisnick, he made his big league debut last night. He's looking for his first major league hit. Donovan Solano, a couple hits yesterday. Jeff Mathis also had a pair of hits. Jacob Turner is on the hill for Miami. And a little bit more on De La Rosa. In search of victory number 10, he has always mastered Coors Field.
And if you give him a little bit of run support, the ball club wins an awful lot of games. First 14, he was averaging right at 6+ earned runs, or 6 runs of support. And the Rockies were 10-4. Since then, in those starts, they've averaged just right at 3 runs per start. The Rockies are 3-3, but yet he's got an ERA of 2.29. You're going to see the fastball 55% of the time or near that. The changeup at 25.5% of the time at about 83 miles an hour. The slider will play into this. The slow curve, not as much as what it once was. It's more fastball changeup than anything else.
So there's the repertoire of De La Rosa. The Rockies are 13-7, in fact, as George was alluding to. A lot of success when he takes them out. This is start number 21 for De La Rosa. He's allowed fewer hits than innings pitched, 107 and 115 in a third. There's Echeverria.
18 games over 500. De La Rosa is when he pitches at home. Interesting note this year, he's 5-0 in the daytime with a 1.42 earned run average. That leads the National League. At night, 4-5 with a 4.18 earned run average.
Had good crowds for this series, great crowds for the Cubs series. Close to 130,000 over the weekend when the Cubs were in town. Last night there was more than 34,000 for game 2 of this 4-game set between the Rockies and Marlins. So here we go, De La Rosa to Adeiny Echeverria. Raised the average to 253 with the strong offensive showing in the month of July. The first pitch strike is indicated by Dan Iasanya. Alan Craig of St. Louis, the only player in Major League Baseball with a better July. Hanley Ramirez, wow, what a job he's done since returning from the disabled list. And I looked up on the scoreboard a moment ago, George, the Dodgers doing it again. They're up 2-0 on Toronto at Rogers Center. That ball game in the 5th inning. They came from 5 down last night to win 10-9.
They're just playing great baseball.
There's no
a lot
other way
of
to describe
confidence
it
right now.
Yeah, a ton of it. Here's the 0-2 from De La Rosa. Great curveball. See you later. Boy, that was a dandy, huh?
Like what you like to see. I'm telling you, this is fun to watch this guy pitch, particularly Coors Field. He is just not intimidated at all. Directly out of the hand, way up on top of that hook. See ya. 73 miles an hour after seeing 92, 93 heater. You see the split, then you get that.
That'll bring up Christian Yelich. Mentioned the great night he had last night in his major league debut as a 21-year-old. His mom's here. Stepdad, who's a scout in the Boston Red Sox organization, in attendance as well. His brother, who plays baseball at Orange Coast Community College, started his career at UNLV, did his brother. He's a catcher.
Well, I laughed because I was talking to Dan Jennings, who is their vice president of their ball club, does a lot of work for him, and a good friend. He goes, you ought to see him without his shirt on. He looks like the 16-year-old on a 15 and under team. And I said, really? And he goes, yeah, it's crazy. He said, but man, can he swing the bat. It is as smooth and as pretty. #1 draft pick, I think 2010 is when they took him in the draft.
He's got a ton of pop. Really surprising. And had he not gotten hurt late in spring training, Mike Redmond told me today he would have broken camp with the big club. Here's the 3-0. And that misses. So after a 3-pitch strikeout of Echeverria, you have a 4-pitch walk of Yelich.
Well, yesterday, Drew talked about it. A big day. He had the base hit through the right side to get his big league career going. He came up with a couple of more hits, a couple of RBIs, and a stolen base. Go ahead and have a day. Right after the other. That was a tough hop on LeMahieu, and he hustled up the line to be safe.
Here's big Giancarlo Stanton, and he takes a strike. He spent a good part of batting practice working the ball the other way, and he did this yesterday also. And when he works the ball the other way, he plays pepper with the seats, but he said he's been flying open a lot lately, and he thinks that's a cause as to why he's had such a low average. 239 coming in. But as we like to tell you each day, because this guy's a freak, and I mean that
in a nice way.
In a nice way, that when he takes batting practice, everybody watches. The opposition watches if they're around. I'll show you where he hit a baseball today in batting practice. We showed you he hit the Coke sign yesterday. That misses.
It wasn't on the bounce yesterday either. Just
no. You see the Toyota? You see that? That's the Toyota sign, right? Let's go places. That's over the Helton shack. He hit the absolute middle of that, which means if it doesn't hit the sign, it's going out of the ballpark on the fly.
I'm just glad, and I hope he keeps doing it at 5 o'clock in the afternoon and not at 6:40.
And they did once last night at 6:40. He's got 7 career home runs in 9 games at Coors Field. I thought Josh Fogg had a great line when he joined us in the booth a few days ago, George. He said, were you ever intimidated when you saw some of those big guys, the Pujols of the world, the Barry Bonds? He said, listen, even the great ones, Stanton's got a ton of ability, they get out 7 out of 10 times. So I figured the odds were in my favor. And Stanton goes down, second strikeout for De La Rosa, and that'll bring up Ed Lucas. It'll also take us to our look at the Rockies defense, brought to you by Excel Energy. We bring you the energy you need so you can live the life you want. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. Cargo, Dexter Fowler, Michael Kadire in the outfield. The only change in the lineup for the Rockies is Yorvi Torrealba's doing the catching instead of Willeen Rosario, who caught the first couple of games of the series. And Yorvi also wearing a microphone for us this evening.
We get some of the best stuff when you put it on a catcher.
Especially Yorvi. He doesn't lack for energy. Talked to Walt Weiss after the 5th inning also. One 1-0 on Ed Lucas. I mentioned it's first time in his young career he's hitting the cleanup spot.
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Good, you?
Good.
Good.
Have a good one today.
You too.
Wow, not too good.
Relatively speaking, have a good one.
Have a good one, but not too good.
Like have a healthy day, enjoy yourself,
sure,
but don't get any hits.
Enjoy the sun in right field for the first 7 innings, and then, you might want to go out of the game.
Lucas lines one to center field, a base hit.
Ball took
and
a
going
funny
first
bounce.
to third is Yelich. 2 on here in the first inning with 2 outs, and that'll bring up Polanco.
Looking at that breaking ball, it appeared to be that at 82. May have been the split. Either way, first pitch swinging, line drive to center field. When that ball hit, it took a really funny bounce on Fowler. It hit the ground and almost kicked directly left. You know what? I wish we could get word to Torrealba to ask him about Dan Iasanya's, why he's got the cast on his right arm. If he got a foul ball, what happened to him?
Playing hurt, though, huh?
Yeah, he's up and hurt.
Inside on Polanco. Placido, a .366 career hitter at Coors Field. That's over 27 ball games.
The Miami Marlins really struggled in Milwaukee. We've talked a lot about it. Only 1 extra base hit. They hit 143. They were 0 for 16 with runners in scoring position. But then they showed up here at Coors Field. 21 of 68. They hit 309 in the first 2 ball games. 4 of 16 with runners in scoring position and 5 extra base hits.
Yeah, not great, but certainly better numbers with runners in scoring position when they would what they did in Milwaukee, which was putrid. It's not like they've blown the cover off the baseball. They have 7 runs. Unfortunately, the Rockies have scored only 3 runs. 2 balls and a strike on Polanco. This is just the 5th time this year he's hitting the 5th spot in the lineup. And interestingly, Miami is unbeaten when he hits 5th. They're 4-0. He did 2 days ago.
Well, who's managing this team? 4-0. Read the lineup score and the results. Come on. What are you thinking about if you like superstitious type things?
Down the line foul. Two.
We're fighting off some tough pitches.
A walk and a single have placed runners at first and third with 2 outs. A couple of strikeouts for De La Rosa in this first inning. Looking to retire Polanco. Next pitch will be number 21 of the inning. Rockies were out hit 12-5 last night. Here's the 2-2 and a ground ball to third. Arenado the short way to LeMahieu, and they get the out there. So no harm done. 2 runners left for Miami. We'll see the Rockies on offense when we come back. Dexter in the ball game last night was 0 for 3 in a walk. He'll try to set the table for the rest of the lineup. Rockies need to break out offensively in the worst way. 2 and 3 so far in this homestand, and with the exception of 1 game, runs have come at a premium. Take a look at the Rockies batting order, brought to you by Southwest Airlines. DJ LeMahieu, as we lamented at the top, is really swinging the bat very well. Cargo bat third, then Tulowitzki and Kadire. Helton hit a home run last night, his 361st, tying Joe DiMaggio. Nolan Arenado will bat 7th. Torrealba will bat 8th in front of De La Rosa. And on the hill, 22-year-old Jacob Turner, 6'5", number 1 pick, 9th overall in 2009 to the Detroit Tigers. He came in the Anibal Sanchez trade a year ago.
Well, this is a guy that everybody felt like had the potential. He just hadn't lived up to it for a while. You know, he's a sinker baller that'll throw it at 92, 93 miles an hour. He'll throw the 4-seam at 90, 91 miles an hour. He likes the curveball, some sliders and changeups. But more importantly, he's going to try to get you out down. That ball's hit pretty good, but it's going to be skied to left.
Well, it's misread by Yelich, and he'll still get back and make the catch. Initially, George, he didn't move. In fact, I think he took a step in. He ends up going all the way back to the warning track.
A little bit more on Mr. Turner. 2-0 in his first 6 starts. In the last 3, he's 1-2. In his first 6, a 1.76 earned run average. Looking for his first road win. 3-0 at home, 0-2 out on the road, but an earned run average on the road of just 310.
You know, over his last 14 starts, and this goes back to last year, the league's hitting just 220 against him. Miami, their strength right now is they have acquired a bunch of very talented young arms.
That and through the draft also. I mean, they're big on pitching, boy, when it comes to the draft. That's the one thing they're going to go after and go hard. I mean, Fernandez is one of those guys, obviously. You witnessed that. Kohler, an 18th round draft pick out of Stony Brook College, that has obviously shown up. Tomorrow you're going to see a young man they got in a trade from the Dodgers in Evaldi that has a very big arm.
Comebacker in LeMahieu's retired. I mean, Evaldi, he'll sit on 97 miles an hour. Tomorrow against Juan Nicasio. Cargo's coming up. The Marlins defensively, they're brought to you by Excel Energy as well. Make the choices that fit your life. Excel will provide you the energy to power it. Visit responsiblebynature.com to learn more. The 2 kids, Yelich and Marisnik, in the outfield, along with the longtime veteran 23-year-old Giancarlo Stanton. Everything else pretty much the same. Jeff Mathis for the 3rd straight day doing the catching. Cargo thought about laying down a bunt. Ball 1.
Dougie, I know Nolasco had a no-no going through 5, and in Pittsburgh, Liriano had 1 through 6. Is it still there? He has given up a hit now.
Two 2-0 on Gonzalez. Cargo had an RBI ground out last night. 0 for 3 and a walk. The Ribby, his 67th of the year. And that's a base hit through the right side for Cargo. That'll bring up Tulowitzki. Cargo at first base, George. 26 home runs, 19 stolen bases. So he's on the precipice of being a 2020 man for the 4th consecutive year. And nobody in baseball is as close to producing those kind of numbers. And Troy takes a strike.
How many 30-30 guys in the history of baseball, Doug? Canseco was the first 40-40 guy, right? Is that right, Drew? Canseco was the first 40-40?
Yeah.
40-40 guy.
Didn't Hanley get there one year?
I don't know if he did or not. It's a good question.
There goes Cargo, and the throw to second gets him. Jeff Mathis has thrown out half of the would-be base stealers, and for just the 2nd time this year, Carlos Gonzalez is caught stealing. welcome. Jorge De La Rosa, dad. He's got some young ones at home. Jake Marisnick in the second inning with his 5th major league at bat. Last night in his big league debut, he was 0 for 4. No score in the top of the second inning, and that pitch changeup away, ball 1. Hitting a walk in the first inning for the Marlins. De La Rosa also struck out 2. Good pitch. Marisnick in 377 minor league games. Hit .280 with 38 home runs. Drove in 199. Stole 95 bases. Both he and Yelich, good-looking athletes. They can throw and run in addition to swing the bat. Yelich right now, according to Mike Redmond, has a little more power, but down the road, they think Marisnick has the potential to have plus power. Big kid, 6'3", 225 pounds. Tampa's turned out its fair share of major league talent.
Boy, haven't they, though?
Luis Gonzalez, we were talking a little bit about Gonzo yesterday. He's out of Tampa. Your old friend, your good friend, Lou Piniella, out of Tampa.
Jim Fregosi lives down there, but he didn't play down there.
2-2. And Torrealba got nicked.
No, he got slammed on the shin guard. Ooh, right on the toe. Mike Shot Subaru Supermo will show it. Maybe. Yep.
Toe shot. Said it many times, it's amazing how much equipment the catcher has on and how often the ball will elude the equipment. 2-2 on Jake Marisnick.
Hard slider coming down on that back foot.
He didn't bite. 3-2. And he got him to chase. Turned over a terrific changeup. 3rd strikeout for Jorge. And that'll bring up Donovan Solano. 5th innings when we can visit with you during Toyota Talk. And here's how you get yourself involved. Text the word Toyota followed by your question to 720-720. Solano a single and a double last night. And that's on the corner for a strike. Solano had an intercostal strain pretty early in the season as he throws a base hit into left field. Missed about a month of time, hitting just .208 since coming back. He was hitting close to .280 prior to the injury. Swung it well, though, in this series. Speaking of swinging it well, Jeff Mathis had a couple of base hits last night. Looking down at Joey Espada for the signs. 1 out and 1 on for the Marlins here in the second. No score.
That was one of the big things that they wanted to make sure that they were able to get a guy they could afford but could nurse along this young pitching staff. Mathis is the perfect guy for it. If he hits, great. But his main focus is developing this young pitching staff.
Well, you know this to be true, George. You spent a lot of time on a mound in your career. When you get traffic and it's second and third, let's say, and you want to snap off a nasty slider and bury it, you better have the confidence your catcher is going to be able to block it. Mike Redmond was a very good defensive catcher, and he thinks the game from that position. And we were chatting earlier, and he said, it's not a coincidence that all the top teams year in and year out in baseball have a very good defensive catcher. You look at St. Louis, they keep changing the names, but these guys keep putting up great numbers, and they've done a good job, finding guys and developing guys. However, there's been a constant, right? Yadi or Molina behind the plate.
No question. Huh. And everybody said about 5 years ago he'll never hit 250. He's leading the National League.
Well, that's the huge bonus, not just a nice little bonus where he's a nice offensive player. He's become a terrific offensive player.
But the other part of it is too, he catches every day. He does. I mean, what is it, Doug? Look and see. I bet he's caught 150 games a year or more the last 5 years.
2-1 on Mathis. Jorge looking for a ground ball. And remember when we were in St. Louis and we showed the video of Yadier spending a good 15 minutes early one day, a couple hours before game time, working with Rosario on his setup. I mean, these are two guys on different teams.
I want to make sure this young player becomes what they think he can become, and not ashamed to help the guy. About receiving the baseball. How do you receive it soft to the inside? I mean, that was a great video that day we had that. And it wasn't like a casual 2-minute meeting. It was about 15-20 minutes.
Rockies induce a great number of double plays, 97 to be exact. This is in the air to Cargo and left. Mathis is retired, and that'll bring up the pitcher, Jacob Turner. Well, we have the mic on Torrealba. That means you get to see the joy of catching and the pain of catching.
Of course, had to miss my shin guard, right?
Yeah.
Right, big toe. I got 2 hearts now. One my toe, boom, boom, boom.
Turner throws out a base hit to right. You heard Jorvitz. I've got 2 hearts now. His toes throbbing also.
Dan's got him up behind home plate. Dan and Sonia. No evidence on behind here, pal. Okay. There will be no evidence.
2 on again in the second inning. This occurred last inning with 2 outs for Miami.
By the way, Yadier Molina's averaged right at about 140 games for the last 5 years, and he's at 91 right now. I mentioned the 30-30 guys a little while ago. There's been 39 of them, the 30-30, and there's only been 4 40-40 guys.
Echeverria at the plate. He struck out looking on a beautiful curveball to start the game. Ground ball to third. Arenado again will go to LeMahieu. Good job of pitching by De La Rosa with a little traffic once again in the second inning. No score. Tulowitzki will lead off when we return. Report is brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company, a ready-to-eat energizing superfood you can add to any dish that's healthy and delicious. And we go downstairs and check in with Mark Stout. Mark, what's happening?
All right, guys, big part of the order for Jacob Turner, former first-round pick of the Tigers, traded last year to the Marlins in the Anibal Sanchez deal. He's got a big pedigree. He's from the St. Louis area. St. Charles, one of the affluent neighborhoods there. His pitching coach in high school at Westminster Christian, Todd Worrell, one of the all-time saves guys for the Cardinals, and Mike Matheny, the Cardinals now manager at that time back in 09. He was an assistant for that team as well. I was talking to Josh Outman, who grew up in the St. Louis area. He says, I know guys that caught him because they catch me when I go back home and work out. And George, you go back with the Cardinals organization. You may know a little bit about that school and some of the ball players that come from there and that area.
Well, it's amazing how everybody kind of just, you go or you chase down places to play because they got catchers over there. That's why. And I think he's obviously one of those guys that you go there and then you get the experience of being around a lot of major leaguers and you get better by it.
Mark, did you mention Andy Bennis? Because I know Andy Bennis had a son who played at Westminster Christian.
Did not mention Andy Bennis. Tate Matheny played there as well. He's at Missouri State now, and he's playing for the Madison Mallards in the Northwoods League.
Northwoods League, pretty good summer
good
league.
Baseball.
Yeah. One strike to count on Tulowitzki, and now a two-strike count. Troy was at the plate when Cargo was cut down trying to steal for just the second time this year. And Troy pulls it to third. That's where Polanco is. One out. Michael Kadire will come up. Cuddy had the rarest of evenings. He was 0 for 4, did not reach. Who wants tacos? Remember, if the Rockies score 7 or more during any game, go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the next day between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. High with the fastball at 91. Turner was the Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Missouri in 2009.
The only thing about coming out that year in the draft, there was a lot of snow that spring and rain, so a lot of guys didn't get to see him in the 07 draft. And they said they had to go off of what happened, what went off. Excuse me, 09. They had to go off of a lot of what they'd seen the previous time before that. But it was pretty special any way you want to cut it, I can tell you that.
2 outs as Kadire skies to center field. That'll bring up help. Windshield damage, call Safe Light Auto Glass. America's vehicle glass experts, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. Chatted with Todd today for a while on the radio shows, and one of the things he said, Todd, he's going to be candid. And he said, listen, Jose Fernandez was terrific last night. He said, but we got to stop tipping the cap. And he said, I know it's only July 24th, but we're at home right now. Dodgers are playing well. He said, this is as close to a must-win situation this evening as you'll find this time of year.
Would agree.
(2-0) slice down the line, double territory for help. Number 579 in his career. He just moved past Wade Boggs on the all-time list.
Boy, you're talking about slicing a hard sinker down and away at 92 miles an hour. Watch this on the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. This is not an accident. The angle of the bat, the body, everything about that swing was intended to slice that ball down that third base line or to the left side of the infield.
He's an 18th all by himself. And I mentioned this the other day, and we chatted about it again today. That is, of all the records he has set and all the impressive lists he's on, that's what he's most proud of. the number of doubles he's produced in his career. Throw that list up, fellas, again, if you could. 18th in front of Boggs now. And we'll see who he's chasing. Robin Yount is next at 583, then Palmeiro. Probably would be tough to get the 600 this year. You'd have to really get hot, but well, nothing's impossible with that guy when he's got a bat in his hand.
Well, he's been hot in July. He's hitting 349.
Feels good. Georgie's told you that a lot. Arenado with a base hit to left. Stu Cole's going to give the green light. Yelich up with the baseball. Throws up the line. Throw to second. Safe there. 1-0 Colorado. Nolan Arenado coming through.
A lot of hours put on in that hitting cage with Dante Bichette before and after ball games. A lot of film work, but more than anything, confidence by 17 given to 28. You're a player. You're at the big leagues. You can hit at the big leagues. And boy, did he ever. He scalded this thing to left field. Right out of the reach of Polanco at third base. Yelich came up. Lesson be learned. High and long off the throw. And then Arenado took advantage of it with hustle to get into second base.
And Miami will not pitch to Torrealba with first base open. They'll pass on him and pitch to De La Rosa with 2 outs. So a 2-out rally here for the Rockies. The double by Helton, the sharp single by Nolan Arenado. It was RBI number 30 for Nolan.
Rockies 29-9 when scoring first. Excuse me, 20-9 when scoring first at home.
Arenado, after snapping that 0 for 18 with the big hit a few days ago, George, a little 4-game hitting streak now going.
He's going to hit. Some teams he's going to get picked on by a few guys, and most of the time he's going to come up with his 1 or 2 hits. Any way you shake it. Just playing all the percentages here. Redmond doing the right thing. I mean, you walk him, you get to the pitcher. It's a 1-0 ball game. He's not going to let things get crazy.
De La Rosa looking for his first RBI of the year. Now would be opportune for that. 2 hits, 33 at bats. And De La Rosa bounces it to second. Solano's got it. Rockies get the first marker of the night. Todd Helton brought around by Nolan Arenado after Helton's 579th double. Friday after the ball game for Rockies Real Time this week with the Midsummer Classic now behind us. We're taking a look back at all of the All-Star moments from the first half of the year, from off-season training with George Pacheco to fishing recently with Todd Helton. The Rockies have welcomed you into their world like never before. It's Rockies Real Time. That's Friday after the Rockies take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Todd Helton with the double, and he was delivered by Nolan Arenado, and the Rockies have a 1-0 lead on Jacob Turner and the Miami Marlins. Top of the third inning, De La Rosa will face Yelich, Stanton, and Lucas, 2, 3, and 4 for Miami. Yelich walked in the first inning on 4 pitches, 3 for 4 last night in his major league debut. And the kid from Thousand Oaks hits it in the air to shallow left. Cargo lays out and makes the catch.
Well, this is why you end up having a Gold Glove at the house, folks. You're able to get breaks on baseballs. You're able to come flying in. Your team's got a 1-0 lead and just lay it out and make the catch.
That'll bring up Giancarlo Stanton. He was a strikeout victim his first time through. And he bounces this one foul. Stanton now 19 career games against the Rockies, hitting .328 with 10 home runs. Here's a home run from yesterday, George. This was kind of run-of-the-mill for him.
Change up.
Yeah, it went about 20 rows up.
Everybody else be jumping up and down, but in his case, people want to see him go about 50 feet farther than that.
I asked him the farthest home run he's ever hit, and he said, I guess they said it was here. And last year, I believe he hit a monstrous home run.
He hit that scoreboard with what's his name?
Well, I asked him about that against 50-year-old Jamie Moyer, and he said, yeah, I got that one good too. I said, yeah, the scoreboard kept it from going to Fort Lauderdale. He kind of smiled. He was not one of these travel ball guys that played in a ton of exhibitions and was always on the road. He was a 3-sport kid growing up. Here's the ball against Moyer.
You can understand why with his size.
He said, I probably would have been a 15th round pick had I not gone to the area code games. And I said, was it in the game or was it batting practice? And he smiled and he said it was batting practice.
Well, that's where Stan Meek, the scouting director, told me he saw him. He was sitting at area code and like, who's this guy? Nobody had him on a radar anywhere. I think they took him in the 3rd round.
Yeah, but he wasn't a showcase baby.
No. And I'm big on that too. I want to see guys play.
Well, I know your son. I mean, he didn't go to all the showcases. 3-2 on Stanton with 1 out, nobody on. Ground ball to 3rd. Nice play by Arenado, and he'll get Stanton by a step. Good play by Nolan. Solid, 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 and then some at 3rd base. And I love the fact that even when the hits have been few and far between at times for Arenado, George, it has not affected his defense.
It never has affected, and that's a good thing about it. I think with Troy right alongside of him, and also Todd Helton, he lockers around him. That's not by an accident. But you got 2 of the leaders, 2 of the veteran guys that have been through some ups and downs to help a youngster through it.
Ed Lucas singled to center his first time. 2 outs, nobody on. And the Dartmouth product takes away ball 1. He was trying to remember the last time he hit 4th in a game, because when he was a star in the Ivy Leagues, he hit 3rd for the Big Green. Christopher O'Dowd, Dan's son, went to Dartmouth. He was a freshman All-American there. Recently graduated, now for a year in the Padres chain, now in the Rockies organization, playing in Tri-Cities. 2-0 on Ed Lucas. Changeup. Dela said, George, in his last start, that he had great command of the changeup, and when he does, he's just filthy.
Well, when you have the ability behind in counts, that's the biggest key. Like right now in a 2-1 count, the other day he was able to throw the changeup. Pretty good fastball right there when you pop it in at 90 miles an hour with some movement. Everything for him has some kind of movement. That ball had a little cut down and in.
2-2. And a ground ball to third again. Terrific inning. 2 fine plays behind De La Rosa by his third baseman Arenado. He's knocked in the only run of the game. 1-0 Colorado. The third inning. Time now for the Lowe's never stop improving stat. Last 4 games for DJ LeMahieu. He's hitting .471, couple extra base hits, couple runs scored, slugging in the mid 600s. And he has been outstanding on defense as well. Top of the order for the Rockies, Dexter Fowler, then DJ. The breaking ball misses, ball 1. Jacob Turner faced Dexter in the first, and Dexter hit a long fly ball to deep left field. Dexter's hitting some hard luck the last couple of days. He's barreled up a number of baseballs, but he doesn't have anything to show for it.
When the 20 hit the deep center field the first night, Ozuna went sprinting back and made a catch on the warning track at 400 feet.
And he rocket to first base the other day that was caught. And because of that, he is a misleading 0 for his last 12. You think, oh man, he's not swinging it well. 2-2. Rockies trying to end a run where they have scored 3 runs or less in 7 of 9 ball games.
You know, Turner went over to the Detroit Tigers in the first round. There was a fly ball hit pretty well. Yelen's going to get back on him, make the catch, but he was compared an awful lot to Rick Porcello, who was taken in '07. And they felt like they thought he was going to be another Rick Porcello, and it just didn't work at the time.
You saw Porcello when he was 18, didn't you, George?
Pretty special guy, let me tell you.
He's one of those East Coast guys. He was going to go to Carolina, wasn't he?
Going to Carolina, he only threw 8 innings in the spring because of the storms on the East Coast. And he went to a prep school up there, but he was also, he went down to Jupiter and played in that fall deal, so everybody saw him there, and they, private workouts, all that stuff.
There were a couple of premier arms in the Northeast that year.
Well, Bumgarner was on the East Coast. He was out, down in the Carolinas. He was pretty good up on the East Coast. A kid named Alderson that was out of Cheyenne Mountain.
Tim Alderson.
And Tim Alderson just recently got traded again. He was a #1 draft pick out of there by the
Giants.
Giants and Bumgarner were combined 29-2 their first year, full year in baseball.
Is that good?
Alderson went to Pittsburgh and then never panned out, and he just got traded recently from there.
Bounces 1-2 on LeMahieu, 1 out in the 3rd inning.
Not a bad seat in the house, folks.
Never has been. It's getting overcast a little bit again.
Can't smell anything though.
No, it's kind
usually
of
smell the rain.
Strike 3, inside corner, and LeMahieu is asked to move on. 2 outs. That is the first strikeout for Jacob Turner.
Well, next bike to the game is on July 28th, Sunday. You can win prizes. Get more information and ticket specials at Rockies.com/green. I was going to ride the bike this time. I had 2 flat tires. I couldn't do it. Maybe Sunday I'll get them fixed and I'll head on in on the bike. Dougie, why are you shaking your head? I caught you. See, look, you didn't think I'm looking. I see everything.
Here's Cargo.
Well, you get one of those I rent one of those bikes in front of the ballpark and I come over. But I was going so fast, they put out those strips to slow you down. You know, the cops use to catch guys. I was up to 40.
I'm just saying, if I saw you on a bike, I'd fall out.
Oh, you'd fall over.
Inside 1-1. Cargo a sharp single to right his first time up, and then was caught stealing for just the 2nd time this year. He's 19 of 21. The Rockies offense was very productive the first 3 months of the season. One of the top offenses in baseball, averaging just under 5 runs a game. 441 slugging average, a robust slugging average. But in July, they're averaging under 3 runs a game, hitting just 229, and many of those numbers near the bottom, if not the bottom, of Major League Baseball. Now, you're going to go through periods. Every team does, where you pitch really well, and sometimes where you don't pitch so well, periods where you hit, periods where you struggle. But to see that sort of disparity is unusual. 2-2. That went off the top of Jeff Mathis's helmet. Remember when the old-time catchers, George wore the soft cap?
Yeah, I can imagine.
It went right off the mask.
Oh, that hurt. I'll catch the mask. Caught my mask. Now I'll flip it out of the glove. I'll grab it with. Oh, man.
Turner taking his time. And he strikes out Gonzalez. 1-2-3 in the 3rd. Rockies have a 1-0 lead on the Arenado base hit to drive in Helton in the 2nd. Nothing. As we go to the 4th inning, time for our AT&T trivia question. Cargo is 1 stolen base shy of his 4th consecutive 2020 season. Only 2 active players have had 4 consecutive 2020 seasons in their careers. Who are they? Great question. George, who are the 4 40-40 guys? I saw you wrote it down for me. Jose Canseco, Alfonso Soriano, who we just saw, Barry Bonds, and Alex Rodriguez. There have been 39 guys to produce 30-30 seasons. That's happened 60 times.
Well, by the way, Drew, you asked me a couple of questions there. I was off camera. Only reason I was, we had high winds and storms in Oklahoma last night. My wife's been without electricity since midnight last night.
That's not good.
So
Kadire and Wright will make the catch. Polanco's retired.
Getting the generator over and hooked up to the house as we speak.
You guys have had
some kind of weather, buddy.
Spring and summer.
3 inches of rain last night at the house to go along with all that. And a lot of limbs down. I guess I got some more firewood when I get home.
When are you going
Sunday.
home?
Sunday. Hopefully she's got it all dumped by the time I get there.
Yeah.
I don't think that's happening.
Yeah, the 23-year-old can't come over anymore and help.
No, he's gone. He's in Pensacola.
He pitched well last night.
Yeah, he did. Proud of him. First time out, an inning in 2/3. Got 3 punch outs. My oldest son's chasing bad guys down in Tulsa right now. He said, Dad, I said, can you go get the generator for your mother? No, Dad, I'm in the middle of a. I said, okay, bye. Okay, get in the pickup. Go get the generator. George, that went over.
George's son Matt, one of Tulsa's finest. 2-0 the count on Jake Marisnick. 0 for his first 5 in the big leagues. That's where you start going, all right, I want to get that hit. I really want to get that hit out of the way. And you're facing a tough customer in De La Rosa.
Yeah, and your buddy you came up with going, it's easy. Just go up, swing the bat. Don't worry about it. It's a piece of cake, dude.
Yeah, he's hitting about 800, right?
What are you worried about? Just go and swing the bat. No big deal.
Here's the 2-1 on Marisnick. That's a good looking pitch.
You know, when you're 0 for 5 and you're in your big league debut and you're trying to get things going, you're trying to get that hit, they're all good pitches.
Here's the 3rd round pick of the Blue Jays in 2009, and he's gone on an off-speed delivery down and in. Strikeout number 4 for Jorge. Donovan Solano will be coming up. He had a base hit his first time. Time now for Who's Flying High, presented by Sky Venture Colorado Indoor Skydiving. Look at this. Since July the 7th, the Rockies have had outstanding starting pitching, a 2.48 ERA. And over more than 2 weeks, the Rockies have the lowest starter ERA in the league. Brewers on that list, the Pirates, the Dodgers, the Mets. Now, usually when you get that kind of starting pitching, you're talking about
7-0, 8-0. Haven't lost a game, maybe one.
Yeah, that kind of thing. Well, the Rockies over the 13 games are just 6-7 because there hasn't been, as I like to say, George, baseball symmetry where all facets of the game are clicking at the same time. The bats aren't clicking.
They're pitching and catching. They're just not hitting. Yeah, that's what I laugh sometimes when one of my sons in the den one day was watching a game and he said, you know, if he could just hit it, catch it, and throw it, he'd be pretty good. Yeah, most of them are. They can hit it, catch it, and throw it.
The Dodgers with a slightly higher ERA during that time. It's played by Arenado. But they're on the list, so their starters done a good job. They're 11-2 over their 13 games. Rockies have a 1-0 lead. De La Rosa pitching a gem.
Field, and a good night so far for the Rockies, up 1-0 as we go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Here's the question of the night. Where were you 30 years ago on this date? George Frazier was in New York City. He was on the Yankees when the pine tar incident happened. George Brett took Goose Gossage deep. Too much pine tar, comes out of the dugout. He's incensed about it. George Brett told us here during this offseason that it made people forget something else about him.
July 24th, 1983. That's the last hemorrhoid joke I've heard. Then it was pine tar jokes. So it really was the greatest thing that ever happened, because would you rather be remembered as the guy that had hemorrhoids or the guy that hit a home run off Goose?
Because in '80, in the World Series, he came out of Game 2 with a hemorrhoid issue against the Phillies. And, of course, you were there, George, and you know all about that day at Yankee Stadium 30 years ago today.
Mark, I was okay with talking about this with you until you said 30 years ago, okay?
Oh, come on.
I'm a little out on that right now. No, it was a fun day.
You're in the big leagues pitching, yeah.
It turned out fun. It was funny to see George go crazy. We kind of knew about the bad incident from a previous time with him, and but it was actually brought to the attention by Greg Nettles to Billy Martin. Billy couldn't wait to do it. And then they had me come out. I got to finish the ball game.
That was a month later, right?
Yeah, a month later.
Now, you know what? I wanted to ask you. I couldn't remember. Did Brett get suspended
for
got contacting the umpires?
No, he got kicked out of the ball game, so he couldn't play that day.
Line to center field. That'll drop. Base hit Michael Kadire.
He couldn't play that day, so when he came back to make it up 30 days later, he stayed out at the airport and had dinner with a buddy. He kicked out of the game. He couldn't play. And when he came running out here, no, the circumstances, once he got out there, you know, all the umpires were trying to keep him off. And poor Tim McClellan. That's Timmy.
That was Quirk behind him, wasn't it?
Yeah, Jamie Quirk, and there's a bunch of guys trying to hold him back, and those are the umpires trying to grab him to hold him back, to keep him from getting suspended, keep all those things going crazy. Unusual situation. I mean, at that time, in the 80s, the Yankees hated the Royals hated the Yankees. I mean, big rivalry.
Yeah, great rivalry.
So, when that home run was hit off a Goose, it was pretty nuts. And then we checked the bat, and they, called him out, and then the whole deal. But Billy had me throw to every base. And every umpire that was there was not there for that game 30 days previous, but they all had an affidavit from the other umpires. Because Billy was going to say, how can you call him safe? You weren't here. You didn't see him touch it.
Always thinking, right?
Always thinking, yeah. I don't know if he was or George, but one of the two were. Not George Frazier, George Steinbrenner.
Drew and I were in the metro New York area. Watching baseball, probably. I'm assuming,
yeah, we probably were watching that game. It was so long ago, though, I can't remember.
We were getting ready to go back to Ithaca College within a month or so to continue college.
Yeah, because Frazier's a lot older than us, Mark.
I know.
2-0.
Not really.
Yeah. 2-0 on Todd. Todd drives his ball high in deep center field, going back Marisnick, and he's going to make the catch right at the wall. Kadire will tag and move into scoring position. So Helton the double. And a few feet shy of hitting one out to dead center field. Nolan Arenado coming up. He's driven in the only run of the game. Yorvi Torrealba with the mic gun.
Was he saying down, 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 and Todd just blew right by him?
Todd said, I'm not getting down.
No. No. I got 18 years of strawberries on my rear end. I'm not adding another one. Did you see how fast I was flying around third, man? Did you see how? Yeah. But that's what you're supposed to do at home, kids. Become the coach. After you pass third, become the coach for that runner coming home.
Outside on Arenado, 1-1.
Plus, Helton might be thinking, Torrealba's messing with me. He just wants to make me slide, and I'm not doing it. Yeah.
Fun when those guys mess around a little bit in the clubhouse, because those are two characters, Helton and Torrealba.
Well, and they're very dry sense of humor, and I mean, that's the thing about it. And if you're a young player in the locker room, have a little thick skin. They're having some fun with you. Don't take it personal.
1-2. In the air, center field. And Resnick will make the catch. The Rockies will leave Kadire at second base. 4 innings complete. The Rockies won, the Marlins nothing. Himself offensively. Looks like his confidence has grown since a few days ago when he snapped that slump.
Yeah, Nolan's taking some good swings here lately. Got a big hit, 2-out RBI early. So that's a good sign.
Well, I like the way Todd has been pretty aggressive since the break, or actually month of July. Well, he's hitting 349.
Yeah, Todd's swinging the bat well also, and he's driving the ball, and that's real good to see.
I know there's no rhyme or reason behind it. You've been in this game for a long time. You have a very good offense. It's been productive this year. Is there anything you can say, anything magical you can do to get them rolling?
No, I think, you come in, you prepare, and then you go out and compete and take your best shot. And it's a talented lineup, and there's a good track record here with a lot of these guys. So I'm confident that the offense start clicking.
Well, the lefty's throwing up a lot of zeros. That's a good thing.
Yes, it is.
All right. Hey, Walt, thanks, man. Good luck the rest of the way.
Thanks.
De La Rosa in the 5th inning. We'll see 8, 9, and 1 in that Marlins lineup. Jeff Mathis will lead it off. 1-0 Colorado. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout from Coors Field. It's also our Toyota Talk inning. Thanks again to Walt for jumping on the headset. De La Rosa threw 22 pitches in the first inning, Frazier, but just at 59 now after that first pitch strike.
Trimmed it up pretty quick. And, all of a sudden you're seeing a lot of pitches for strikes. You're seeing ground ball outs. You're seeing quick innings, and that's what you want.
Oh, and 2 on Jeff Mathis. Hit a fly ball to left his first time. And he's going to hit another fly ball to deep left this time, but Carter gets back and makes the catch.
Well, one thing you try to do as a catcher is signals for a pitcher, but also for your outfield and defense. Watch Torrealba's glove. See him point to that inside. We're coming in, and it's something down and in. If he gets it, it's going to be on the ground pulled, or it's going to be in the air. It allows your fielders to get an extra jump on the baseball.
Changeup in the dirt, so it's 1-0. Jacob Turner punched a single to right field his first time up. Who's the best young pitcher in the National League? Miller, Corbin, Hernandez. Fernandez is, I'm sure, who you mean. 2-0. Shelby Miller's an outstanding arm. He's hit a little bit of a rough patch with St. Louis. Patrick Corbin's had a gorgeous year, and that kid, Jose Fernandez, doesn't have necessarily the wins to show for it. It's been outstanding. But let's not leave out Matt Harvey, who started the All-Star game for the National League.
Right. And all those guys you mentioned could all be, obviously, the best in the league right now. And it's just a crop of great young pitchers on their way. Another one, Archie Bradley, that's tearing it up in Double-A, the #1 rated pitcher in all of baseball right now. He's in the Arizona farm system.
And I don't think you can leave off the list a guy you think of as a veteran because he's put together a number of good years already, but he's still very, very young. He's under 25, and that's Clayton Kershaw. Toronto, by the way, has caught the Dodgers. It's 2-2 in the 8th inning at Rogers Center.
Right-hander Sean Markham released earlier today by the New York Mets.
3-2 on Jacob Turner. And De La Rosa strikes him out. Number 5 for De La. 2 gone. Adeiny Echeverria will be coming up.
Well,
what's
Matt,
Clint Barnes been up to these days? Matt and Rocky Ford.
He's not playing as much as at shortstop for the Pittsburgh Pirates, but that's where he is, and he's playing a very good role. They have a young shortstop. Golly, his name's running away from me. Cody Mercer. Mercer from Oklahoma State University has been starting at shortstop because of his bat. Clint's still hitting around 200, 205, but Clint's coming in and playing an awful lot of defense behind him late in games. In other words, in the 8th and 9th inning.
Barmy's hitting 220 to be exact, with a couple of home runs, just 16 driven in. He's played 68 games for the surprising Pirates, and we'll see Clint Hurdle and Clint Barmes and the Pirates in a week. You'll be back home in Tulsa, George. Huey and I will be there with the rest of our root crew.
It'll be nice there. It won't be muggy at all in Atlanta, Pittsburgh, or New York.
Or Tulsa.
No, Tulsa will be nice. I'll be inside.
Here's the 0-2 on Echeverria.
No, actually, I got a lot of work to do when I get home. From what it sounds like, I got a backyard of firewood laying on the ground I didn't cut.
It does sound that way. Two and 2. Todd is proud of doubles. What number do you think is most impressive? What of his numbers? I'm trying to understand.
Which one of the numbers do you
Jake.
think is most impressive other than the doubles?
Other than the doubles? Well, I think the doubles is most impressive because he's 18th all time on the doubles list. I think the extra base hits total in his career. I mean, there aren't a whole lot of folks that have had more extra base hits than Todd.
92nd on the list with 192 or 3, I believe, at this point.
No, this wasn't. It's way more than that. He's got 361 home runs. He's got almost 600 doubles.
3-hit games is what I was thinking.
Yeah, you're thinking of 3-hit games. I'm talking about extra base hits. I asked Todd why he doesn't turn more of those doubles into triples this year. He said there'd have to be like a 6-car pileup out there for me to get a triple. He's got 975 extra base hits. So, Jake, to answer your question, for me, 975 extra base hits in his career. That's 35th all time. Think about that. Almost 1,000 extra base hits.
Who has the most extra base hits? Just throwing it out there.
It's got to be Henry Aaron, wouldn't you think?
Well, you would think that.
Yelich takes inside. 2-out knock for
Henry Aaron
Echeverria. Doug will provide us with an answer momentarily.
He's panicking.
Not panicking, but there's smoke coming off the keys on his computer. One and one on Yelich. Henry Aaron, George.
Yeah, how many?
1,477. 7 more than George Herman Ruth. 100 more than Stan the Man. And 121 more than I can't read is Chicken Scratch. Moving up to second is Echeverria. And who would this be? You wrote Ruth there. That looks like the same guy. Who's that? That's Bonds. You wrote Ruth twice.
Let me correct. It's a trick answer.
Let me correct this.
Trick answer.
Henry Aaron's number 1.
Yeah.
And Barry Bonds finished 7 behind him. Am I right now? And then Musial, then Ruth.
No, never mind. Hold on. We're calling timeout.
Oh, and now he changed the number. Aaron finished 37 in front of Bonds.
Anyway, folks,
it's Henry Aaron.
It's Henry Aaron. Okay.
Dougie, maybe you should go back to block printing.
You told him to give it to you momentarily. You got it. This one right.
2-2 on Yelich. 3-2 on Yelich. Tying run at second base. And Echeverria. Stanton on deck. On the ground to second. LeMahieu's there, pulls it to his chest, goes to Helton. And the Marlins are done in the 5th inning. A base hit and a man left at second base. Rockies up 1-0.
Tell you why, I go and miss him. I go and miss him because he's the one play catch with me before the game. I go and miss you. Come on, sweetie. Let's go.
Never a dull moment around Yorvi Torrealba. Yorvi wearing our microphone tonight. We appreciate it. He'll lead things off in the bottom of the 5th inning. Then De La Rosa and Dexter Fowler. Yorvi, an intentional pass in the 2nd inning. That's when the Rockies scored their run. A 2-out double by Helton and a single by Arenado. That's it against Jacob Turner.
And I tell you how hot Torrealba has been since May 30th among Major League catchers that have caught 20 or more ball games. Buster Posey at 337. LeCroy, who you'll see this weekend with Milwaukee, 336. Torrealba at 328. Mauer's 5th on that list at 318.
Mauer's also on the paternity list right now. Some Rockies baby news here in a moment. 1-1 on Yorvi, pulled in the hole, and a base hit for Torrealba, who continues to swing the bat. leadoff knock. That'll make De La Rosa's objective simple. Well, simple at least in theory. He'll try to get a bunt down. De La Rosa gets the bunt down. Turner will throw to Lucas at first. And mission accomplished. So a couple of swipes at driving in Torrealba. First up will be Dexter Fowler. And Dex had tweeted out earlier. His wife Aaliyah is with child. So congratulations to Dexter and his wife Aaliyah. And wouldn't you know it, one of the first tweets to thank or to congratulate Dexter and his wife from the Cowboy. And here's what Tracy wrote to Dexter and to Aaliyah. We can get the kid in bull riding school at age of 4, start on sheep, go to calves at 8, and then steers at 12.
Perfect. I know his Grunt Sound Scouts, he's doing it.
And there's Dexter's tweet. I'm going to be a dad. Congratulations again to Dex and Aaliyah. And we'll see John and Trudy, Dex's parents, in a few days down in Atlanta, and I know they have to be just thrilled. This ball in the air to shallow right. It's going to drop. Torrealba had to wait on it, and it's first and third with one out. The baseball gods giveth and taketh away. All the hard hit balls for Dexter that landed in gloves, and then he hit one off the end of the bat and it dropped.
Dumped into the outfield. Right off the end of the bat. A big swing throws everybody in the outfield. Late breaking to get to the baseball. Stanton picked it up pretty quickly, though.
LeMahieu, a comebacker, and called out on strikes. Rockies, great chance here to add a marker. First and third and one out. Great wheels at first and Fowler. Marlins middle infielders really pinching the middle. Open for a ground ball in their direction. Mayhew typically works the ball inside out. Stanton shortened up in right field. Marisnick in center shaded toward right center. And this is in the air to Marisnick. Torrealba will tag and he will score easily. No throw in that direction. 2-0. Nice job, DJ LeMahieu. He got it deep enough to the outfield. 2-0 Colorado.
I'd like to see him take 2 shots here at least to let Dexter steal a base. I'm sure they know it. And obviously Mathis has thrown the ball well. 14 of 27 now, I believe, and would-be stolen bases. So still wouldn't mind seeing him take a shot with it, getting running scoring position.
You know, I'm of the mindset with Cargo, because you're in scoring position when you're at the plate, that if he likes the first offering, let him go. He can make it 4-0 in a hurry.
Miami thinking the same thing I am. They got the throw over to first to tighten things up.
Cargo leading the league in home runs, total bases, slugging percentage, extra base hits, also outfield assists with 10.
So pretty much all the categories.
Well, there's a few he's not. The ones he's not leading, I guess he's second.
Triples.
He's got 6 triples,
Yeah,
so he's
that's
among the
just
league
what I'm
leaders
saying.
there,
Pretty
right?
close.
Off speed, and that's in there for a strike.
That's what a pretty good job of doing that the other night. Kohler dropped that off-speed pitch on the outer half of the plate consistently to Gonzalez. That was a borderline strike.
Cargo 1 for 2, single to right and a strikeout. 2-0 Colorado. About hit the Marlins 6-4. One more hit than they had all of last night. Just keep waiting for them, George, to have one of those innings where they put up a crooked number.
I think a lot of people are waiting on that one, including the manager right now.
Two strikes on Gonzalez. Wells Fargo customers, get your 2-for-1 Rockies club level tickets today by going to wellsfargo.com/Rockies. Wells Fargo Bank, member FDIC. We was talking about 1-2 counts running. See if Dex takes off 0-2. On occasion, you'll see guys do this. Not going, and now he can move up.
Goes in the dugout.
Dexter will stay at second base. The ball goes out of play. You get the base that you were going to. And that's what happened the other night, by the way. Remember when Kadire scored and Arenado initially went to third? They moved him back to second on the overthrow by the center fielder that eventually went out of play. And Cargo strikes out. 2-0 Rockies get a second run. Torrealba comes around on the sac fly by LeMahieu. Cooney Lexus look back. Second inning, Todd Helton rifled a double with 2 outs down the left field line. Career double number 579. A moment later, Nolan Arenado got a slider that backed up and he ripped it to left. Helton would come around and score, and the Rockies had a 1-0 lead. And then moments ago, DJ LeMahieu with a scoring fly ball to center field. Torrealba, who had singled, comes home. 2-0 Colorado. Jorge De La Rosa has thrown 5 innings of shutout baseball. Cooney Lexus, where luxury has a new address, now open in Greenwood Village. Stanton at the plate. And Giancarlo takes low ball 1. A strikeout and a ground ball to third. And Lucas Placido Polanco to follow. Every once in a while during batting practice, you'll see the hitting coach and whoever else around there move the batting cage, yank on a little bit when a guy extends and actually is hitting the side of the batting cage with his bat. And Stanton took his first round today, and Mike Redmond, a couple of guys had to do that. Stanton came out and Redmond looked at him and he said, "See, this is a cage for normal sized people. That's the problem."
He did that the other day in early batting practice. He was a little upset with the fact he kept hitting line drives into the side of the screen. He kept smoking it. His cage was out so far. And part of that is keep the ball from getting up in the stands and hurting people.
Three and one on Stanton. On the ground to third, diving stop to his feet. Arenado's got his man. He's putting on a show tonight, Nolan Arenado. He's made at least 3 sparkling plays this evening.
You know what? You see Nolan kind of walking over there a little bit now to fix it and give him a little bit of that baby. When you're a young player and you have an all-star shortstop playing next to you, you want to make plays like this. You want that approval. You want to say, you know what, I do it a little bit with that leather too. And look at De La Rosa. He appreciates it. Just like the other 24 teammates and the 25,000 fans in this audience tonight do.
You're not going to get many knocks on the ground hitting it to the left side against the Rockies.
Not a smart move. 7 ground ball outs so far. 5 strikeouts. 4 fly ball outs for De La Rosa.
Yeah, LeMahieu on the right side's made only 2 errors. Helton hasn't made any. Tulo's made 2. And at third base, Arenado has made 6. That's not a whole lot of errors in an infield when you're talking about the latter part of July. Ed Lucas behind 1 and 2.
Tough hop. Helton just gave his body up, kept it right in front of him. And even though it bounced off of there, Todd able to flip to De La Rosa.
2 outs. That'll bring up Polanco. Let's answer our AT&T trivia question. It concerns number 5. Carr goes 1 stolen base from his 4th consecutive 2020 season. Only 2 active players have had 4 consecutive 2020 seasons at any point in their careers. Can you name them? Carlos Beltran in the first part of the 21st century, and Hanley Ramirez 07 to 2010. Toronto's taken a 3-2 lead as they go to the 9th at Rogers Center, trying to cool off the Dodgers. Rockies began the day 5 games back. One on Polanco. Former Cardinal, Philly, Detroit Tiger, and recently with the Phillies again.
And a good player.
A really good player. Been in the big league since '98. And the George, I don't know, he's just a lucky guy because the postseason seems to follow him
pretty much everywhere he goes. He's one of those trade chips right now people are looking at too, and a good reason for it.
Career .299 hitter.
It's kind of like the Hairston brothers. Guys they try to get down that drive. They can play a couple of positions, drive in a run, clutch hitter, all the above.
And the 37-year-old takes that one in the dirt. It's 2-2. He's got over 2,000 hits in his career. 5'9", Placido Polanco out of Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. He's another guy that's real good in the clubhouse. Winning player. Two from De La Rosa. In the air to shallow center, and Dex left fielded on a hop, a 2-out single for Polanco. And that'll bring up Marisnik. Hey, we thank you for texting in your questions during Toyota Talk. We love interacting with you here on Root Sports. For more answers to your questions, visit the Root Sports Facebook page at facebook.com/RootSportsRM. And that's where Tracy Ringlesby will answer at least one more of your questions.
Is he in the bed
tonight.
or in the side of the truck?
Trace? No, he's in the press box.
I thought maybe he was in the back of the truck, laid back, had his head up with the computer.
I hope not, because he's going to take you home after the game.
You haven't seen him on the press. You haven't seen him in the press box yet, have you?
Yeah, we just showed a shot of him. He's not taking you home tonight? Is that my chore?
No. I'm going to borrow someone's truck and get up early in the morning and go fishing, since we're not working tomorrow.
Oh, really?
Yep. Hope to maybe be on a tractor by 11.
You want to cut my lawn?
No, big tractor.
Okay.
Do a little work till sunset and come on home.
High fly ball center field. Dexter settling underneath. And that's 6 shutout innings for Jorge De La Rosa. Rockies 2, Miami nothing. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Ford Fusion. Quality you want, power you deserve. Ford Fusion, go further. By Southwest Airlines, find our fares online only at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Rockies would love to blow this one open. They dropped the first 2 games against the Marlins. They'll play one more tomorrow afternoon. No television on that one. They lead 2-0 here as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, Mark Stout, Troy Tulowitzki against Jacob Turner. Turner's allowed the 2 runs on just 6 hits. He has struck out 3. The only batter he walked was an intentional pass to Yorvi Torrealba back in the 2nd inning. They thought Turner had a chance to break with the club in spring training, but he really struggled in spring training. He had an ERA above 9, and they sent him out. He was up with the Marlins last year after the Sanchez trade. Really ironed some things out in New Orleans, and he's been very good since he's joined the rotation. Two-strike count. Jose Fernandez. What would he be timing right there, George? He's working out of the windup.
Probably going to time to a whiskey running up the line.
Well, Troy unfortunately is not going to get to run anywhere. He's a strikeout victim on 3 pitches.
Sailing fastball outside corner and elevated a little bit. Appeared to be guessing on what pitch or what location the pitch may be coming from, and Turner outguessed.
Kadire a base hit his last time up. Michaels 1 for 2. A little bit more on the guys that have produced 2020 seasons. Cargo with 4 consecutive 20, or he's about to have his 4th consecutive 2020 season. 26 home runs, 19 stolen bases. 14 guys have done it. Barry Bonds did it 9 times. Bobby Bonds did it 7. Bobby Abreu, who recently retired, did it 7 times. Willie Mays, heard of him, George? He did it 6 times. 3-0 on Kadire. And a 4-pitch walk to Michael. That'll bring up Helt with 1 out. Kirk Gibson, Darryl Strawberry, Strawberry's close friend from Crenshaw High School in Los Angeles, Eric Davis, and a 1-time Rocky, long-time New York Met, Hojo Howard Johnson, did it 5 times. Henry Aaron, Ray Langford, Sean Green, Carlos Beltran, Teddy Sizemore, and Hanley Ramirez did it 4 times. 4 consecutive times.
What do you think Teddy Sizemore's doing right now?
He working in baseball?
President of Rawlings Glove Company.
And then you know what? He's been with Rawlings for a long time, right?
Worked for him as a salesman in the St. Louis area, and then on to worked his way up the ladder, quite honestly. He's done very well for him.
Did you guys overlap, George?
He had just left when Gary Templeton had come in. Size was gone. So, adios, amigo. It was nice seeing you. Talked to him quite a bit, though. I mean, he comes out an awful lot to that Aflac High School game, and Rawlings was very nice, big sponsor there.
You were a Rawlings guy.
Wore Rawlings for a long time, then switched over to Mizuno towards the end.
2-0 on Helt. He's hit the ball hard twice, and he hits the ball very hard there.
See if it gets into the
foul.
Mountain Ranch Club. Pretty close. He's hit it in there before. That was just under. He's actually pulled the ball into the 3rd deck above our first base dugout. That's hard to do.
Yeah. We're going to be at the Mountain Ranch Club at some point later on in the year, and we're going out to the Camarena Loft on Friday.
Can't wait.
Broadcast from there. 2-2 on Helt.
2 things. When he takes a hack like that, he's seeing the ball really good. Because normally that's a pitch he would take. But he's thinking he can get to anything right now. Meaning, my hands, go ahead. Elevate it, go ahead. I mean, that's how good he's seeing and feeling right now at home plate.
Kadire at first. 2-2 count. And a ground ball to second. And Kadire because of the work he did, is going to get Helton to second base. I mean, you want to talk about getting into a shortstop. He got into Echeverria, and Echeverria, instead of throwing the ball 90 feet to first, threw it about 70 feet, and that's why the inning's still alive and Helton's in scoring position.
Exactly.
The little things.
Well,
Watch Michael Kadire.
And Nolan's going to get another shot at driving in another run here. Kadire not out of the way, not a bad side, nothing ugly about it. He just bared down on him. You know, a lot of guys think they go up with the hands up. Turner's looking and he's thinking, man, I got a double play. I'm sitting in the dugout. No, I don't.
Not everybody, folks, goes in like that.
No, that's playing the game the right way.
Just
nothing dirty about it.
Just the 7th error on Echeverria. Chance for Arenado.
By the way, you're doing the Echeverria thing a lot better than
Took me 3 days.
you practiced.
All night. Didn't go to sleep.
No, I don't think that's the case. But while you were jogging, I heard you practice because everybody in the neighborhood said you kept saying something and mumbling. They didn't know what you were doing.
I always mumble. And a delayed strike call. It's 0-2 on Arenado. And as you look on the forward strike zone, it just got the knee level. Nolan will go into battle mode against Turner. Nothing Rockies. Helton at second.
Swing for the fences with the new Home Run Derby, a mobile game from MLB.com. Available on iPhone and iPads. Download for free today. That's Swing for the Fences with the new Home Run Derby mobile game from MLB.com.
On the ground to short. Rockies lead Helton at second base. 6 innings complete. Rockies leading 2-0.
I need you to hit behind me, man. That way I can, you know, get something good to hit. Because with De La Rosa, I mean, look. All 59. All 59. No, when Chari is behind me, I see a lot of fastballs.
That is funny stuff. Torrealba good-naturedly getting after De La Rosa's ability at the plate versus Chatwood, who's hitting above 300. He said, I need you behind me. Get some better-looking pitches to hit. Edgar Escalona will take over the 7th inning after 6 terrific innings from De La Rosa, 6 shutout innings.
Things just keep getting better for Escalona. He came in the other day, got a double play in that ball game. He's going to take on the bottom of the order. Solano, Mathis, and then probably a pinch hitter, I would think. Their bullpen has started to get busy down there.
Last 3 outings, George, for Jorge. He's allowed 3 total runs.
Oh, that's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah. And if you're wondering,
oh boy, he's pitched well.
Why he exited, he was close to that 100 pitch mark. The Rockies like to keep their guys, their starting pitchers, around 100 pitches.
Particularly this time of the year. Then you get into September, you keep them around that 85, 95 range this time of the year, and then as you turn into August, you get about August 15th, the last 45. It's like a little 2-week breather there. Then get after it.
7, 8, and 9 for Miami in the 7th inning. Donovan Solano's 1 for 2. Ryan Webb throwing for the Marlins. Pulled down the line, foul. Well, Tracy Ringlesby is all over Twitter tonight, George. I know you're a big Twitter.
Oh, let me get on
guy.
my Twitter account real quick.
Well, let me tell you.
Me and Doug will jump on ours.
Well,
do you have one, Doug?
He's mentioned.
Sam, do you have one? Oh, so you're the only one in the booth that has a Twitter account. Okay, go ahead.
Well, he's mentioned you. Do you want to hear what it's
Me?
about? Yeah, he's
what do I
mentioned
got
you.
anything to do with it?
I'll tell you in a second. Back up the middle. Look out. Escalona. Have that whip right past him. A leadoff single for Solano. Jeff Mathis coming up.
Well, last night it was Chacin that took one off the inner thigh, able to get a guy out right here. Escalona just barely misses the back as it goes right back up the middle. He's acting like it got him, but it didn't.
You know that feeling where you think it's going to get you?
Yeah, he thought that.
Jeff Mathis at the plate. So here's what the Cowboy tweeted, George. Newborn Prince of England has been named because they didn't give a name initially.
No, another one's named after me, George.
Named George. Didn't think Frazier knew those folks. They must have stopped over in Tulsa on a trip.
No, it was me over there.
Oh, were you in London
I went
recently?
by there. Yeah, I went by there.
Okay.
Yeah. No, actually, they called and asked for permission.
They did. That goes all the way back to George I, I imagine. They asked the Fraziers. Great grandpa Frazier, right?
George Washington Carver Frazier. That's who I was named after.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
That's a strike. It's 0-2. Greg Dobbs in the on-deck circle to hit for Turner. Escalona on an 0-2 pitch gives up almost an identical single. And now Miami with 2 on and nobody out. The Rockies clinging to a 2-0 lead.
The Rockies bullpen struggled of late. These took things up here, obviously, in the top of the 7th inning. Come support the Rockies wives as they host their annual grab bag for the charity event this Friday and Saturday. Stop by any gate. You can grab a bag and then it'll be autographed by a baseball by one of the Rockies and or maybe the manager Walt Weiss and from maybe one of the former Rockies. So it's always good to do this. Outman Lopez up down in the bullpen already. You see everybody very busily setting up those bags. Are going to have them out there. They're $40. Great deal, folks. This what did she say the other day? Raised almost $20,000 last year on a couple of combined dates. That's neat.
Yeah, it's wildly popular. Make sure you get here early because those baseballs will go quickly. So Greg Dobbs pinch hitting. First and second, nobody out. Look out. That hit him. Bases loaded. So Escalona's given up 2 hits and he bounces one that hits Dobbs. Jim Wright will go to the mound, and now the Rockies are in a difficult place, up 2-0. The top of the order and the hottest hitter for Miami's coming up in Adeiny Echeverria.
Their ball club, 259 this year. They've had 58 opportunities, bases loaded. They've gotten 15 hits, 5 home runs, 2 triples, 2 grand slams. Echeverria, 2 for 5.
Rockies will concede the run up the middle with the 2-run advantage and look to turn 2. Echeverria can run.
Well, right now we're shading a little bit right center. Off the line down the left field line. You got some decent speed. 2 pretty good hacks at a high fastball, both at 95.
Escalona the ability to get a punch out. He struck out 30 and 39 plus innings. 0-2. And that was the pitch he was looking to get Echeverria to go after.
Well, you hope you get the swing and miss here. Going to go chase it after 2 pretty good heaters. I mean, he couldn't have walked that in there any better. Very good 0-2 pitch.
And he went out there good. Good block by Torrealba. It's a great example of having the confidence as a pitcher to bury a slider with guys at third base, knowing that your catcher will block it. And now it runs full. 96-mile-an-hour fastball was outside the zone. 3-2 on a Danny Echeverria.
Way to let the game get away from
you. Strike 3 on the outside corner. It was there, 1 out.
He did paint it, put it right where you wanted to, low on the knees, outside corner, but it was also the catching ability of Torrealba to reach out and get it. Because that's exactly what he did. He extended that arm out front, so there was no ability for that ball to sink out of the zone. Walt Weiss is going to count on the left-hander, Josh Outman, to come into this game and clean this up and keep it the way it is.
So Escalona goes off, bases loaded, 1 out. Outman coming in to face Yelich. 7th with 1 out. Outman to face the young kid Christian Yelich in a moment. Tonight's Cold Hard Fact brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light. Marlin players with 3 hits in their major league debut, Giancarlo Stanton and their manager Mike Redmond. In fact, Redmond's the only guy to do what Yelich did. Have 3 hits in your first 3 big league at-bats in a Marlins uniform.
Josh Outman on the season 2-0, 36 2/3 innings. And I think for him now it's inherited runners that would score. He's inherited 16, 11 have not scored 69% of the time. You'd like to see that at about 78, 79% of the time.
This is to face 1 hitter here, George, because Outman was in the game to face 3 hitters last night. One of them was Stanton, and Stanton hit a home run against him.
So that's why he's here. He's here to get this lefty out, and he offers a hard slider, a good slider, for strike 1.
Lefties hitting just .219 against Outman. Righties .359, and another good slider. And Yelich swings over the top. 0-2.
There's not sliders like this in the Southern League, I will assure you. That late with that kind of velocity. It's all part of the learning, growing experience. You just hope you take advantage of it.
That looked like a deep to me from Torrey Alba. Slider, and that just missed. When you get the umpire kind of looks off,
pretty close.
You know it's close. Dan Iasanya, and he was on it. It did miss away. One, 2. Yelich pretty quiet at the plate for a kid, George, huh?
Yeah, very confident, obviously. Doesn't chase things. The last couple of pitches it would have been, we've seen a lot of veteran big league guys take a hack at it and miss.
Two. Got it.
Fastball in. He put it right where Torrey Alba wanted it. What a pitch. Got the kid thinking slider on 4 pitches. Comes right back at a low 90s sinking fastball. Put it right exactly where you wanted it. On the Mike Shaw Subaru Supermo. Tip your hat to Josh Outman with the big punch out.
And now Walt Weiss will bring on Lopez to try to get Stanton 2 outs and the bases loaded. Still 2-0 Colorado. 88 did his job. Rockies baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by the Honey Smoked Fish Company, a ready-to-eat, energizing superfood you can add to any dish that's healthy and delicious. By Dodge, visit Dodge.com or your local Dodge dealer today. And by the Courtyard by Marriott, Western Elegance in the cultural heart of the city. Right now, in the heart of the diamond, in the heart of the game, the Rockies leading 2-0. Wilton Lopez with the bases loaded at 2 outs to face Giancarlo Stanton.
0 for 8 in his career versus Lopez.
Good fastball, but it's a smidgen inside. Hard sinker. 1-0.
That is known as a sanker.
Stanton tonight is 0 for 3, a strikeout and 2 ground balls to third against De La Rosa, who threw 6 shutout innings. The 1-0 to third. That's fair. Run to the bag, and the Rockies work out of it. Lopez gets Stanton. Bases loaded, nobody out, and the Rockies keep the Marlins off the scoreboard.
Yorvi Torrealba will hit first. He's been the man of the night, mic'd up. You're going to hear his glove story on Rockies Weekly this Sunday after the game. And when I was talking to him the other day, I asked him about his favorite catcher growing up, and he mentioned 2 Marlins. One was Benito Santiago, and the other Ivan Rodriguez.
I know Podge was probably one of the best offensive catchers in the game. But to me, Benito was, especially playing with him, and definitely saw, the way he go out there and make sure the pitchers, get the best from the pitcher and go out there and throw 6-7 innings, and the way he called the game was awesome.
Pudge got a World Series ring with the Marlins in 2003. Benito was the starting catcher on opening day 20 years ago when the Marlins came into the league with the Rockies, and Yorvi got to play with Benito in San Francisco, so that's his favorite, guys.
Yorvi's been around the block a couple times now. Rockies are real glad he's back in the fold. Ryan Webb, former San Diego Padre, ground ball specialist, is on here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
A lot of people in here to watch the veteran too. A lot of teams that are in contention looking for bullpen help. He's one of those guys, along with Qualls. They've been in here to take a peek at.
And Mike Dunn also. Torrealba, an intentional walk and a base hit. He has scored one of the 2 runs for the Rockies. Charlie Blackmon's in the on-deck circle, and this is bounced to short. Echeverria with the throw to first. Bring up Charlie Blackmon.
I'm impressed with Echeverria. This kid's got a lot of range up the middle. Able to turn some things around for this ball club. They've got some good young players.
Safe Light Auto Glass. If you have auto glass issues, 303-287-5000, online at safelight.com. Rockies just 6 hits tonight, but they have the 2-0 lead. Two 2-0 on Charlie. High fly ball to Yelich in left. Time now for the Coors Light freeze cam. Nolan Arenado's had a great night defensively, and he robs Stanton of a base hit right there. That was earlier in the ball game. That's brought to you by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. 2 outs, nobody on. Dexter Fowler at the plate. Dex 1 for 3 tonight. George, you're not going to believe this. Dodgers, remember they trailed 3-2 going to the 8th inning or the 9th inning?
Oh,
well, they tied the ball game at 3, and then they scored 5 in the top of the 10th to win 8-3.
Unbelievable. They can really swing it. Who did all the damage?
Puig hit a 3-run home run. Mark Ellis also a home run. Puig's home run, George, came in that 10th inning. And Ellis, both home runs came in the 10th. Three 3-0 on Dex. Ball 4. So Ryan Webb walks Dexter with 2 outs in the 7th. That'll bring up DJ LeMahieu. He's driven in one of the 2 runs for the Rockies tonight with a sac fly. His 13th RBI of the year. I think Puig's was a 3-run home run, but he did hit a home run. Looking at the stats a little closer now, as a solo home run. Well, whatever the numbers, the Dodgers find a way again. They are on an incredible roll. 23-5. Their last 28 games. They now lead the National League West. They've won 6 straight. Unbeaten in the second half. Dexter draws a throw, 1 strike count on LeMahieu. Well, with the great start from De La Rosa tonight, 6 shutout innings, it's now 14 straight games that the Rockies starter has allowed 3 runs or less.
Been pretty good. Bullpen too. I mean, it struggled a little bit here in July early on, but lately has been very good also. It's just been the hitting consistently. Here you are at a 2-0 ball game at Coors Field again. A base hit by LeMahieu. Imagine that.
Dex is going to press the issue. He's going to go first to third. He ran on Christian Yelich.
Young kid in left field. Ball was hit. Dexter never slowed it down. Lesson be learned. The ball's hit. Soft line drive out into the outfield. Dexter flying. Watch when he hits that second base bag and turns it on. That young man didn't come in, grab the ball immediately and quickly. Dexter took advantage of it. Yep, they're not going to let Gonzalez in a 2-0 game run this right now. He's going to go right out and grab Webb. and go get the left-hander out of the bullpen.
Well, Carr goes 3 for 6 against Webb.
Jennings will
Seventh inning, Dexter Fowler, who walks now at third after the base hit by DJ LeMahieu. Dan Jennings is on the hill, 26-year-old, kind of typical of a left-handed reliever. Fastball, slider.
And it's coming right at you, boys. 315 earned run average.
Carlos Gonzalez steps into the batter's box, 1 for 3. Single back in the first. A couple of strikeouts since then. And the first pitch is high. A slider, it's 1-0. Cargo hitting .319 left on left. You see the splits, 286 against righties. Boy, a hit here would be large. Not on that slider. 1-1.
Jennings out of the University of Nebraska, a 2008 ninth round selection. He's 25 years old. 43 career games with the Huskers. He was 6-3, 339 earned run average. There's an all Big 12 honorable mention in his final season at Nebraska.
Cargo on the ground at second. Solano's got it, and Jennings gets Gonzalez. Rockies lead 2-on. We move to the 8th inning. Colorado 2, Miami 0. Rockies 2, Miami nothing. Top of inning number 8. Drew Goodman, George Frazier, and Mark Stout. Ed Lucas, the cleanup man in the 8th inning, will lead things off for Miami. Have you checked out Root Sports' interactive second screen experience, Game Control? You'll get live game stats, stay connected to the conversation around the game with a live social media stream as well. Visit rootsports.com/Rocky Mountain. Click on the Game Control banner to connect. Rockies will turn to Matt Belisle. There's another little one. It's maybe his first ball game. Belisle in the 8th inning. Lucas, Polanco, and the rookie Marisnik. Here's another rookie, Ed Lucas. Lucas, a base hit back in the first. He's 1 for 3. Dartmouth grad, double major in sociology and economics. One and one. Took to his 31st birthday to reach the big leagues, and he throws a base hit into right field. I'll bring up Placido Polanco. He had a base hit his last time up. Rockies have been out hit 8-7. First, help. Good feed on the first. Wild throw, bounces out of play, and Tulowitzki with just his 3rd error of the year, and that'll put Polanco in scoring position with 1 out.
Helton did everything to get it in the right position here. He got it to Tulo. Tulo never took his foot off of the bag there and just tried to underhand flip. Belisle ran straight to the bag. Difficult to get over and make a play on.
Jake Marisnik, 0 for 3, 0 for 7 in his career.
Well, it's 1 out. The Rockies manager, Walt Weiss, has decided to get Rex Brothers up. Maybe a four out ball game for Rex. Belisle runs into any more trouble here. Aggressive fastball at 91 for Matt Belisle.
Another good fastball.
Backed it up with that one at 92. $14 holes for Matt Belisle. That's tied for 9th in the National League. Todd Helton will run and get to the bag, and check the runner at 3rd. 2 outs. They'll get to the ballpark early, July 28th. The first 20,000 fans to the gates are going to receive a bobblehead of Ella Sparks. All that's courtesy of Sports Authority. More celebrations of the 20th anniversary. All with the Brewers in town. 303 Rockies, Rockies.com/bobble to get tickets for that.
Two outs. Solano takes ball 1.
Tyler Matzik shut out Springfield tonight, 3-0 in that ball game. Cole White with his 11th save. Tulsa 48-53 overall. They won the first half. Arkansas leading the way in the second half was shut out tonight by Northwest 7-0. Nasty slam. 85 miles an hour, and this thing made a left turn when it got to home plate, folks, right there. Catch out on this rotation out front by Matty, and Mike Shaw Subaru's super mow, and it comes right back with a 91-mile-an-hour heater in a good location.
Line drive right field. Kadire can't get there. And it's an RBI single for Solano. It's 2-1.
1 for 8 now. Miami with runners in scoring position in tonight's ball game. The Rockies are 2 for 7. You know, ball not hit hard at all. Sinker down and away in a good location at 93 miles an hour from Belisle. This right off the ankle tops. Solano drives in his 7th run of the year. Picks up his 3rd hit of the ball game.
Mathis takes a strike, going 1. That error, which is so rare for Troy, turns out to be big because that extra 90 feet allowed Polanco to go to 3rd on the ground ball by Bariznik. Elton would have had the forced second ordinarily. Way outside, 2-2. And that's lined to left, a base hit. So Mathis moves the tying run to 2nd in Solano. We'll see in which direction Redmond goes with his bench.
And he went to the right-hander. He's going to send him up. Somebody that obviously, in this situation.
Well, Justin Ruggiano is going to pinch hit.
Well, he had Morrison up, and he's going to send Ruggiano up. And the reason behind that is he's going to allow Walt to let, Belisle face him. He didn't want to burn Morrison now, but quite honestly, I don't know when that you feel like, if you're Redmond, when you would use him again in the ball game, because Rex Brothers left on left in the 9th.
Well, he's sending up a guy, George, who is 0 for his last 30.
And he's got a little pop, don't get me wrong. He can do that.
He's got a lot of pop. He just has been in a difficult place offensively. So Mike Redmond gambling that he's going to break out here. Swung on and missed. It's 0-1.
Guy in a slump, and he's never faced anybody like Belisle, or faced Belisle, I should say, in a ball game.
Time call.
That was a little late. Blau double looked, and as he lifts the leg up, anytime to me when a pitcher lifts the leg up, umpires should not grant time, because now that arm's dropped and you're coming. Smart by Torrealba, because he threw slider strike one. Then on the timeout call, the fastball was called, and Blau went ahead through it, which you should. So they came back a slider, didn't duplicate the fastball. And he fouled it off. Now you got an 0-2 count. Keep it off the plate, get you a punch out, and get in the dugout with a 2-1 lead.
1-2. Tying run at second base. A run on 3 hits and an error in the inning. 2-1 Colorado. Rockies have had fits with the Marlins in this series, losing 3-1 and 4-2. 2-2. Boy, you look at these scores, George. You think these games are taking place at Petco Park.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it?
Two, 3-2.
Wow. If he's missing, it's just right off the corner edge of the plate. Just right off that outside edge of the strike zone.
Got him on a slider. Belial strikes out the pinch hitter Ruggiano. A run for the Marlins in the 8th. It is 2-1. Matt Belial and the Rockies leading 2-1 as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Who wants tacos, fans? If you'd like to receive text message alerts when the Rockies score 7 in a game for the Rockies Taco Special, text the keyword taco to 720-720. When the Rockies do score 7, Taco Bell and Root Sports will donate $250 to the Colorado I Have a Dream Foundation. Native of Lubbock, Texas, A.J. Ramos is in for the 41st time, the rookie reliever.
Been pretty good, too, hasn't it? 50-plus innings, 338 earned run average. The whip down pretty low. 128. He'll try to get to the whiskey. Kadire. And Todd Helton.
You're wondering that run was earned last inning because you can't assume a force out. Tulowitzki's, or actually the force out would have been on the ground ball to Todd. You assume he would have gone to second if there was a runner on first, but you can't assume that, so it is an earned run. 1-0 on Tulowitzki. Rockies looking for insurance for Rex Brothers. 1-1. One and two. Not a big guy, but a live arm. He'll throw it in the mid-90s.
Pretty good hard slider, good lower foundation, obviously. You can tell that by the body type, body size. Well, back to that slider on the outer half of the plate to Tulowitzki. They've had some success in the series with him in that respect. He doesn't chase.
A little bit low. Ramos went to Texas Tech in his hometown of Lubbock. 21st round pick in 2009. We'll get the scouting director and the area scout real happy when the 21st rounder makes an impact, makes it to the big leagues to begin with, and then has a positive impact. Here's a 3-2 on Troy, and he's gone. Troy tried to sell it and jogged down to first. First base umpire Brian Knight said no, he went around.
Yeah, that felt like he did off the shoot. They didn't have to ask on this one.
No, there's no question he went.
Trying to sell it. Just weren't buying the real estate.
Kadire 1 for 2 and a walk. Tuno on Kadire. Two to 1 Colorado. Despite being out hit 10-7. 3-0 on Michael. Hilton on deck. Three and one. Ball 4. What's next is brought to you by CenturyLink. The pitching matchup tomorrow afternoon. Juan Nicasio for the Rockies. Been terrific since coming back from AAA, where he threw for the Sky Sox briefly. Nathan Uvalde, hard throwing left-hander. I mean, really hard. He'll sit on 96, 97. He's 2-1 this year, 4.15 ERA, and that's an afternoon ball game. No television tomorrow afternoon. Then on Friday, we're back on the air when the Milwaukee Brewers come to town.
Did I say left-hander? I meant right-hander. My bad. Who am I thinking of? Baldy came from the Dodgers.
I don't know. Yeah, he came over from the Dodgers in that trade with the Marlins, and remember he made his debut, I believe, against the Rockies in a Dodger uniform.
Yeah, we've seen Eovaldi a few times. Off the end of the bat, 2-strike count on top. He's hit the ball hard tonight. Twice. A double in the second inning. Scored the Rockies' first run. A fly ball to the 4:15 mark in center field. And then he reached on a fielder's choice. (2-1) Colorado. Boy, nothing easy in this series against Miami. Elton walking to the outside corner to make sure. How about Tampa, George? They beat Boston. David Price to a complete game. They're a half game out now.
He's starting to win a lot of baseball games.
Runner going, swung on and missed. And it doesn't matter. You know, nobody realizes. Oh, excuse me. Elton's gone at the plate, but Kadire gets a stolen base. For a second, they said foul tip.
Swing and miss on the hard breaking ball or changeup down and away, and then the throw down by Mathis, one of the rare stolen bases against him this year. For Kadire, it's his 7th stolen base on the year. He's only been caught once. Nolan Arenado with another opportunity after the huge base hit back in the second to put the Rockies on the board. Gets a shot here again.
He's had
a runner at second. He's had 2 shots tonight.
He's actually this is his 4th.
Yeah, 4 shots tonight. So far, 1 for 3.
Every time he's come up, there's been a guy at second base. Delivering Kadire would be huge.
Take back what you had given them, which is that 1 run in the top of the 8th inning.
Tim Hudson won a game tonight for Atlanta as Atlanta beat the Mets, but it was costly. Eric Young Jr. on a bang-bang play at first inadvertently stepped on Hudson's ankle and he broke his ankle. And when I say he broke his ankle, Tim Hudson broke his ankle.
Nothing malicious by it at all.
No, not
Just
at
straight
all.
out hustle and a tight play.
Rockies going to Atlanta Sunday night. That's a strike. It's 1-2. Eric Young was visibly upset. Kadire at second with 2 outs.
Get after it. I love it. Young and old. Get it fired up, get it going. Got the glove on, we're ready to play some baseball. Bottom of the 8th, need a base hit.
In tied 3-2. Torrealba on deck hoping for an opportunity. Attendance has been counted, 30,900 tonight at Coors Field. Arenado bounces one to third. And Polanco with a little help at first from Ed Lucas. So we'll go to the ninth inning. Rex Brothers will try to close it out. The Rockies up 2-1. Stanton will be up third. Dropping a couple of low-scoring two-run affairs to center field, and Jenny Kavnar we go. Jenny?
Hey, Drew, tonight it's going to be a nod to Will and Kate. The royal couple of Cambridge finally named their baby. It's George. But the real Jorge, he was back here in Colorado tonight, king of the hill. He may not be in line for the royal crown, but he's at least in line for a win. Of course, he got some help defending that crown. Nolan Arenado, his defense was top-notch tonight. We will break down his performance coming up in the Toyota postgame show, and a royal salute to Todd Helton as he continues to climb the charts in the doubles category all-time. He passed Wade Boggs, the Hall of Famer, tonight. Guys, we'll send it back to you. What do you think?
Wait a minute. You know it wasn't named after me.
Oh, that's right. I didn't even put that together. George Frazier.
George. That's okay.
We'll
see you in a little while, okay?
Jenny, were you pleased with the selection of George as the name of the royal baby?
You know, I was kind of shocked. I guess they went traditional. I thought Will and Kate may have been more creative, but I'll take it. I'm obsessed with the royal family, so that's great.
Well, we're going to turn it over to King Rex, give him a shot at it. He's 2-0, 41 and 2/3 with 10 holes. 130 earned run average, the whip at a 118. He is 5 out of 6 in save opportunities, looking for number 6. He filled in very good for Rafael Betancourt while on the injured list. And then again, here you go. Rex has got a shot, and it's never easy taking on the top of this lineup.
Echeverria takes a strike. He's 1 for 4. Christian Yelich on deck, then Giancarlo Stanton. 2-1 Colorado. Line drive foul. And a 2-strike count. De La Rosa in line for the victory. He went 6 shutout innings, 5 hits, walked 1, struck out 5. Jacob Turner pitched well, but he gave up a couple of runs on 6 hits in 6 innings. A couple of walks, 4 strikeouts for the young right-hander. 1 and 2. One, two. He's got him. 1 out.
A big strikeout earlier. Escalona, with the bases loaded, was able to get Echeverria, now brothers in the ninth, gets him also to lead off the inning. Bad breaking ball down in the dirt, but enough spin on it, enough location to get the punch out.
Christian Yelich. And the fastball beat him up high. It's 0-1. A walk back in the first. Cargo robbed him of a single in the third. Ground ball to second and a strikeout. To short. Nice pickup by Tulowitzki and the perfect throw to Helton. 2 outs. That'll bring up Giancarlo Stanton, and the 30,000 plus will get on their feet. Torrealba will go out and remind brothers. Keep the ball down to this guy.
You know what? This is where, as a closer, you don't fear anything. You don't fear the fact of throwing your fastball at or by somebody. That's the mentality you have. You have to have. But now it becomes about location.
Stanton is 0 for 4. And he takes low ball 1.
Just caught the outside corner, not called for a strike.
Two and out.
Missed that time, well off the plate.
Here's the 2-0. 3-0 on Stanton. If he loses him, Ed Lucas is on deck. Ed Lucas, who I guarantee most of you knew nothing about coming into the series, has swung the bat pretty well. It was just you who had to do a lot of research on Lucas. We did as well. Veteran minor leaguer. And he'll come up as Stanton walks on 4 pitches. And maybe that was something that Torrealba reminded him. Typically, you don't want to put the tying run on. But in this very light offensive lineup, George, there's one guy that you fear, and that's Stanton.
Yes, it is. That's the one guy you're not going to have beat you. And then again, they went all fastballs. They all went away, and they went off the plate. If you hit that, typically you're not going to hit it out of the park. Not at 94 to 95 miles an hour.
So Ed Lucas with 2 outs and Stanton at first. This should do it. To LeMahieu, to Tulowitzki, and the Rockies win it 2-1. They needed a victory in the worst way. They need to string some W's together. And though the offense still is struggling, they got a great pitching performance from De La Rosa. Terrific work from the bullpen. And they survived 2-1 over Miami. And they're now 3-3 on this important 10-game homestand. Todd Helton said before the game, it's as close to a must-win situation as you can have in July. And the Rockies found a way. They win it 2-1. De La Rosa picking off his 10th victory of the year. Turner takes the loss. Brothers the save. Time for our Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery of the game. Well, in the 7th inning, the Marlins had the bases loaded, nobody out. Then the strikeout of Echeverria. And then the strikeout of Yelich from Outman. And Lopez came on, and for the 9th time in his career, he got Stanton. Stanton's 0 for 9 against Wilton Lopez. Bases loaded, nobody out, and nobody scores. That was a huge moment in this baseball game. Visit JimmyJohns.com to find a location near you. Once again, the final score, the Rockies prevail over Miami 2-1. To center field we go. They'll have a real happy Toyota postgame show coming right now. Jenny.
We are very excited to have a happy happy post-game show. Some fans are going to join us behind as well. It was pitching and defense that gave the Colorado the win tonight. They squeezed by with the minimal offense.